went rogue, declared national law or military law or whatever. Why can I not say martial law? Hey everybody, welcome to Shooting the Shit with Yankee. As always, I'm Yankee, so let's start shooting. Today's topic is revolution. The question is, do you think in today's day and age that revolution is likely or even possible? Do you think enough people care? Do enough people pay attention? If something happened, like the president declared martial law without just cause, do you think people would even rise up? Or would too many people go, he's my guy, I don't care what he does? You know, are people so concerned now with just who's in charge and not what's being done that they don't even pay attention to what's right and wrong? Let me know in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. People are weighing in right now, but before we get over to them, let's have me start the ball rolling here by saying I don't think it's possible. Nowadays, I just don't think that Boogaloo is going to happen. I think we'll probably more likely see a slow deterioration and disillusion of our country before we ever see any massive revolution, because people don't seem to care about what's right and wrong. They just seem to care about whether their group is in charge or not, whether their prejudices are being fed. You know, they don't really pay attention to what's going on. It's like the whole group of people are like, foreigners stole our jobs, not billionaires shipped our jobs overseas, which is what really happened. You know, China didn't steal our jobs. The billionaires in our country decided they could produce stuff cheaper there. It wasn't China's fault. It's the billionaires and the corporation who are money hungry. It's their fault. But people choose to see it however they want to see it. Because like I said, I don't think people care about right or wrong, real or false anymore. They just care that the person that is saying the things that they want to hear is in charge, and anything they do is okay with them. It's like there's a certain group of people who always want to say Boogaloo's coming, but you notice they only say that when there's a Democrat in charge. They never say it when there's a Republican in charge. Even under George Bush Jr. W, when he was letting the government spy on people and suspending people's rights to privacy and all this other stuff, writing the Patriot Act, people were, yeah, good for him. The same people that would say Boogaloo under another president if they even, said something they remotely didn't like. So I just don't think the will is there. I don't think the proper mindset is there. And I don't think most people could do it. I don't think they would know what they were doing or how to do it. So I just don't see revolution as any possibility. I wish it was, because that's the only way we're going to take this country back is a revolution. But I just don't think it's possible. Let's see how many people agree with me or disagree with me. Let's get over here to the live chat. Practical Bacon says possibly, but highly unlikely. People are too lazy. Well, laziness is a big part of it. Back in the day when, we were still doing things like gun rallies and political rallies before we realized that they don't pay any attention to that anymore. It was like pulling teeth to get people to come to a rally. People would be like, oh, I can't come. The football game's on. I'm like, well, a football game is more important than protecting your rights. Or they'd be like, oh, that's a 30-minute drive from me. Yet you'll drive an hour, to go to the mall or whatever. So it's ridiculous, the way people judge whether they're going to show up or not, or what they think is important. Just, they're just too lazy to do anything of any value. Johnny Mandrick, I think it is highly unlikely. There is very few actions that could rally a significant portion of the population to take that risk. That's true. There's just, you can't seem to make enough people angry. And they get angry at specific things. You can always know who's going to get angry at what and what they're going to do, because they're so pre-programmed on what to believe and how to react that there's really not much variance. They keep just enough revolt alive in our society to make it look like people actually have a say in something. It's not true, I don't think. Danny Pinett. Not sure what we were talking about, but 10 millimeter USA. Yeah, that he obviously does not know what we're talking about. Avo357 says, Yanks, thinking of getting a Tacoma, but I don't like the engine on the Gen 4s. Not a fan of turbo engines. I like the 2023 3.5 liter V6 engines. Thought. Well, that's not anything to do with the topic. We'll save that for later. Remind me to come back to that. Edgar Cortez says, Thomas Jefferson said that the price of freedom is constant vigilance, and while actual revolution is unlikely, we never know what the future holds, and so I don't entirely discount it. I almost entirely discount it at this point. I call for it all the time. Not call for it, but I promote the idea that I believe it's the only option over just a slow degradation and disillusion of our nation. But I just don't think it's possible. I mean, just pay attention to the designs I do. I know a lot of them are cute and funny, but a lot of them actually point to, how I really feel about the topic. Just don't think it's likely. Daniel Pint. I suspect that few people that would actually stand up for the Constitution would go away of the opossum quickly. You can just call them possums. I looked it up last night, and yes, the opossum is a possum. It said in the actual animal almanac that was the zoology almanac. It was like that the term possum and opossum is applicable to the to the North American breed of opossum. The Virginia opossum is a possum. So stop it with the opossum unless they're Irish. Crap. Jacoby Cochran says, hey, Yank, I'm having a bad day. I went and looked at a stove and guy said he would deliver it. I paid him no delivery and now I'm out $165. Well, that's got nothing to do with the topic. We'll save that for later. Are you going to revolt? Unless you're saying that's it, I'm revolting. Well, then it ain't got to do with the topic. Gummy Wuzzle, revolution is a collectivist idea, not happening. No, it's not, because you're not going to be able to get people together enough to do it. Right now, if one side revolted, the other didn't, everybody rat each other out. So you're never going to have a revolution in this kind of a divided society, and they know that. Because for there to be a revolution, both sides are going to have to say, hey, both our teams are wrong, both our leaders are bad. We only have each other, and we're going to take this country back. And that ain't going to happen in this society. You got too many low IQ thinkers or non-thinkers, I should say. We've allowed education and free thought to be demonized for decades now, and it's having its toll. Boogaloo is unavoidable and will happen eventually. Disagree 100%. I don't think it is unavoidable. I think it's very avoidable, and the government knows how to avoid it, and so do the oligarchs in charge know how to avoid it, and they're doing a very good job of it. I think eventually our country will just crumble. Go Shadow, not happening. People stood and did nothing at Uvalde as kids were being murdered. Well, yeah, there's a lot of cowards, I guess. So that is not a good indicator, I'll say. No, apathy and division are too powerful. No, apathy and division are too powerful. Exactly. People don't care. All they care is that, the guy with the right letter after his name's in charge. He says that he's on my side, and I don't care if he proves it or not. I don't care what he does as long as he says he's on my side. And as long as he hates the same people I hate, I don't care who's in charge. As long as, they pretend to hate big business or pretend to hate, gun restrictions or pretend to hate, this or that. That's all I care about, as long as I'm getting, bottle fed garbage. Danny Pent says, no, it would take too much effort. Yeah, and people in this country nowadays aren't big on the effort. I'll tell you that. I know that for a fact. Like I said, trying to be an activist for years and trying to organize rallies and walkouts and vigils, and you just try to get somebody to get off their fucking couch for a day or give up their football game or, drive more than 20 miles. They just ain't going to do it. They'll find a reason why they're all for the fight, but somebody else going to have to do it today because I'm busy. I got a manicure today. Mark Lax says possible, yes. Highly unlikely, though. Most people are cowards and lemmings. Lockdowns and riots in 22 and on only proven just how much so. Yeah, people don't really rise up much. They gave a lot of lip service to it during the lockdowns. Felice Cheney says, I know you were too young for this, but we made it through the 60s sexual revolution with a fair amount of participation. I'm not sure what she actually means by that. No, she's being pro or anti here. But I will say that I know a lot of people will say, like, during the American Revolution, only 3% of the population actually fought. Well, yeah, but like 90% of the population was in on it. You know, people didn't, when the redcoats rolled into town, people didn't run out and say, hey, the people you're looking for are in that building down there on the left. You know, half the people didn't come out and say, hey, we're on your side. It's them down there that are the problem. No, people covered. So, no, it wasn't a revolution of 3%. That is a gross misrepresentation of history. And it was done by a small group of people who want to pretend like they're better than everybody else. And it doesn't matter how many people, what percentage of the population serves in the military. If the military isn't doing the right thing, it doesn't matter. And there's people who, and you got to count on the people who are out of the military to take your country back when problems arise. We got one last person here weighing in. It's Gummy Wuzzle, and he said, by the time people organize, it will be over. That's true. We aren't that organized. We rely too much on national organizations to tell us what's going on and keep track of things and to do the right thing when none of them do the right thing. They all do what's best for the bottom line at the end of the day. And what's best for the bottom line is status quo. So you're not going to see anything done by them, and too many people rely on them. Look how many people sat back and went, I don't got to be involved. The NRA is going to go to the Capitol and set them politicians straight. People did that for decades. And then they found out, like, what? They haven't been doing that? Well, I'm shocked. Even though people like myself were telling you for years, they're not doing that. They're actually working actively against you, just like a lot of the YouTube talking heads now. The bullshit they spew, the division that they incite is working against you. And they know it's working against you, but it's profitable, so they're going to keep doing it. We got one last person comment here. What is it with Spark 68? He always waits to the last freaking minute to put something in here. Spark 68 says, RevComs, PSL, and WWP try to spark another October 1917 revolution wearing Antifa black bloc at protests. See their signs. It's their commie dream. All they manage is yet another destructive riot. Yeah, no one rises up. You end up with, it's theater. And half the times the people in charge are in charge of that, because they want you to see them put those people down, or they want you to see how violent that group is. It's like when Proud Boys vandalize something and put swastikas on it so that you'll think the left did it. And when the left vandalize, or they put peace signs on stuff so you'll think the hippies did it. And then when the hippies vandalize stuff, they put swastikas on it so you'll think white supremacists did it. You know, it's all just about theater and trying to make the other side look bad and all this other stuff. And it's usually spurred on by the people in charge so that they can keep, confusion and anger in the streets so that no one pays attention to what's going on in the Capitol. But that looks like that's it for today. Thanks everybody for weighing in here. How about you out there in YouTube land? What do you think? Is revolution even a possibility these days? If so, or if not, why? Let me know in the comment section below. Look forward to hearing from you. And if you want to weigh in on one of these topics in person, come to our live chats. We do them every night at 6 p.m., except sometimes on Wednesdays when it's at 7. I don't know what we're doing. But come on in, join the conversation. Hope to see you at a chat soon. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.